Indeed have Cute Boys Against Crime versus When in Doubt, Gauntlets Out. Should be good stuff. We've seen Cute Boys Against Crime already. Genic was really an upstart player there, as well as Dewey, who got a lot of love out of that Dire Orb, as we also see from him in Duel. I recognize a lot of the names here from the other team, from Gauntlet Out. We have Napalm 3D, who's qualified in Duel, as well as Shadow Master 666, aka KGB, who is also qualified in Duel. We've also got Pyro and Yenum, who are both fantastic players. I do want to point out, having KGB in a Sacrifice team, Capture the Flag has been kind of his bread and butter, so we're going to have to see how Capture the Soul goes for him.
Yeah, I think they did pretty good last week. Yeah, they lost to Top Gun. I'm looking at their record. But they beat Uprising, and you look at Uprising's roster, is no joke either. So I remember they did fairly well last week, and I think the match against Top Gun was really close, if I recall. Again, my memory is going a little bit here. There's been a lot of Quake matches, so it's kind of hard to remember every single.
We can't afford to have memory. It's in one ear and out the other for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, but here we go. Over to Runes to start out. As we can see, we got Pyro on an Anarchy Shadow Master, a.k.a. KGB, who I will be friendly referring to him as, on a BJ. And a Blaskowitz on Sacrifice can be awesome on the items. But just in case, they've also got Yenum/Venom, however you want to pronounce it, on a Sorlag. And we've got a level 99 Napalm 3D on a Clutch. Over on the Cute Boys side, as we've already seen, we've got Genic on Sorlag, Backup on Anarchy, Dewey on Ranger, and Mojo coming in with Scalebearer.
Yeah, good matchup. Good matchup here. I really like the roster for the CBAC. I mean, that's a solid group of players there.
Absolutely. So as we get started here in Sarnath, we're going to have to see how the initial fights play out here over the Soul. Going to be looking for a heavy hitter like a Clutch or a Sorlag to actually get the pickup. But before that, it's anybody's game. Here we go.
3, 2, 1. Round 1, fight.
All right, going to be following Pyro from Gauntlets Out here, getting the first grab for Rocket Launcher and trying to battle off a Scalebearer, and he's right on point, getting the first frag, as well as Yenum getting a few fights there as well. But Backup is in his back already, getting the pickup for Rocket Launcher and getting ready for the play on the Soul itself. All right, there's the pickup there from Genic, as we've seen Gauntlet Out with the Sorlag, and they're heading right back over to Obelisk B, but it's going to be taken away and traded 2-3 times. Might be a fourth, but it's going to be Dewey getting the grab on the Obelisk, securing that for CBAC.
They came flying in with this usual Dewey special, right? And getting a Slipgate frag to start things off.
Ripped you a new Slipgate, yeah. You're not obliged to laugh, though. Don't worry. It's okay.
Nah, it's okay.
Nobody's paying you to laugh. All right, but Napalm getting a few good fights out of it, but Venom actually getting a nice triple with the Super Shotgun, as it's 20 points up for Dewey and crew. Pyro's going to be getting the grab, trying to escape through Rocket Launcher. We have 2 seconds before Mega comes back up. It would be incredibly handy, even though he is just an Anarchy, to make that grab. But look at this. You've got the entire CBAC team over at Obelisk A saying, nope, you're not going to be getting this in anytime soon. And Mojo just diving in, getting the grab, and just moves on through to get this back over to the B side of things, getting more points for the Cute Boys.
Yeah, just firmly in control right now. Looks like definitely winning the majority of the team fights, and they got the power up here in 20 seconds. So if the other team's going to turn it around right now, it's their chance. I mean, it's not going well. I'm watching how these fights are going. It just doesn't seem like it's going well. So they do need this power up.
It is incredibly messy here over in the power up room, but it's going to be Pyro trying to make this over to Obelisk A before it comes back up, and he gets it with 3 seconds to spare. He's able to come back in, and with the Mega, he might actually have a good reason to push in on the protection itself, but he's going to get caught by literally everybody, as we have the Cute Boys just wiping the map there in the Rocket Launcher room. So as everybody comes back up here, we're going to be looking for Dewey on the protection to come back in and get the steal. So that was a few points taken away by Gauntlets Out, but it might not last all that long, as Dewey's going to be looking for that steal. Here it comes.
Yeah,
he's
he
still got
just picked
plunger.
up mega health too before going in there with protection, so he was stacked, ready to go.
Well stacked and well armed Dewey getting it back in on Obelisk B, and the points continue to accrue for the cute boys, as now he's turning his attention towards defense. A railgun would be nice, or at least to prevent it from anybody else getting it to use against him, but now he's got, look at this, all his teammates on the defense. Dewey is now going out on the prowl, looking for a few easy fights.
It looks like they lost a player. It looks like they're having internet problems on Gauntlet's out.
Oh no. All right, well, I hope that doesn't affect them too much here, but the time is getting tight on this first round. 50% for the cute boys, as backup is just barely getting that soul back over to Obelisk B. There, needs a nice hit right after getting that back in base, but it's going to be Pyro getting a nice few strikes there with the shotgun, as the soul trades hands a few times, but it still lands there in Obelisk B. G-Nick and crew still getting all the points. All right, so we do have 27 seconds before the power-up comes back up. G-Nick might be having a little bit of a quiet time before that comes up.
I mean, I would be taking it, without sounding too cruel here, I mean, I'd be taking advantage of if I'm on their team right there. He just got back in the game. I mean, they're a player down. Definitely make a move. I mean, this is tournament time. This isn't time to be, feeling sorry for them.
Absolutely. Well, Dewey's not going to be feeling sorry for anybody as he tries to dive down. It's Napalm 3D who's going to be getting the pickup for a quad here, and he's going to be everywhere, but then knocked down immediately, as Shadow Master's going to be getting that pickup. I mean, we have the items in the hands of Gauntlets out, but they're not really making the fights here. Backup's going to be taken on down. Really great damage coming out of the shotgun here, but at 91%, they need to make a move onto the Obelisk right away. Napalm 3D getting a nice pair of frags with the nail gun. Pyro going to be playing a little bit of interference here with the quad, as they are going to try to catch up that gap between 14 and 91%. Pyro getting the last little clutch frag and getting it back in base, but here comes everybody breathing down his neck and breathing down the Obelisk. Nice play there.
You're going to need a lot of defense here.
For sure.
They're going to need a lot of defense, and assuming they do that, they're going to need the next power up. That'll be up in 6 minutes.
All right, so they've got to know that losing the soul at this point would be absolutely disastrous to Gauntlets out. Pyro going up for a little bit more health, and he's going to get railed out of midair. Beautiful fight out of Mojo as they come back in, and here comes a clutch to get the grab. It's going to be G-Nick getting it and just tossing it. Mojo is going to be returning it back to his own base here. He's got everybody chasing him down. It's going to be Flight of the Valkyries and Death of the Scale Bear, as Yenum is just barely making it out of there, saying, oh no, pulling it back from the brink and bringing it back to Obelisk A. He's got plenty of health, plenty of armor here. Yeah. Nicely done. And man, Yenum, the man of the hour right now, his spit and his guns doing all the work and catching this thing up. It's going to be a long uphill battle, but it is one so far that he is, well, appropriately Sisyphus here.
Hey, remember I said the first thing they need to do is have a solid defense. The next thing they need to do is get this power up. If they can get this power up and somehow keep the soul a little bit, then they'll be all right. They can't let these guys get away with it.
Oh, but they just
so
did.
Right
Dewey in and out of there, no problem, no damage, no fights, and the last 5%. Well, we're gonna have to see who gets the pickup for the power up here. It's gonna be everything here. It's actually Shadow Master at 99%, but he's gonna be in just, oh no, it's stolen away! It is taken, and G-Nick still is gonna get taken on down by the quad carrier and soul carrier at this point. With Mega coming up, this is totally doable. But he's got just a massive bodies to blow through at this point. He's got, a rail coming his way from Mojo. Pyro's going to have that little saving grace with both the soul and, the last little rail. He is making every single shot. But here comes Dewey once again. He's
a little quad rail craziness.
Absolutely beautiful shots. I mean, Pyro did so much work there, but Dewey is going to be the last man standing and the first man up on the soul. Mega's going to be up, and he cannot decide which way to go. Yenum's going to take him down and might even be able to take it back over to base. 55%, still a long way to go, but he's got a mega'd up Sorlag ready to get back over to Obelisk A. He's only got LG, but that's a great weapon on the defense if he can push the defensive line a little bit forward. He wants to play for the rocket launcher room, but they are pushing their defensive line way forward at this point. They want to be able to catch Dewey, but Dewey so far has proven to be able to sneak past the middle line there very effectively.
This will be a great comeback if they pull this off. They're on the path. I mean, they're so close.
All right, Genix there with it, and he doesn't have enough health for that rocket jump. But it's going to be Dewey getting it on the rebound, and here it is, right through the basket, and that is going to be, oh no, it's still wow, holy shit. Still contested there, as they're still trying to make this grab and prevent that last point from accruing for the Cute Boys. Yenum's got it. It's tossed out. It's gone. Who's going to get the grab? It's going to be Dewey coming back in. If he can get this in and clear the board, it's going to be lights out for the first round. No, Shadow Master's back in this. KGB, the one to depend on, passing it over to Yenum, and they are crawling this back up. Remember, they started at like 20% here, and they have been fighting for every point along the way.
Yeah, this is an amazing comeback right now. If they can somehow pull this off. It's going to be really hard, though, with the enemy quad.
Yeah, we can hear that. Just ready to do a ton of damage as Genic doesn't have the quad, but he does have the soul. And I'm just going to be watching him because he's just got to hold on to it for just a second here. And there, nope, Yenum might be able to get this thing here. As is KGB and Napalm. What a team they are so far, bringing this back up.
It's craziness right now. I can't believe they're doing this. This is nuts. This is nuts right now. I mean, if you're CBAC right now, remember you're talking about how yelling. I could hear the yelling right now. Like, what's going on? They had this round.
Absolutely. So 93%. They have brought this thing so far. Pyro still doing tons of damage with shotgun. KGB getting a few frags in as well, and a beautiful rail. Anytime you can take down Dewey, anytime he's sniffing around the obelisk, it's absolutely worth it. He will be in and out of there with it, but that is gonna be, holy crap, Gauntlet's pulling it back together. Wow. Absolutely amazing.
Wow. Yeah, amazing comeback right there. It did not look like, right? I mean, it did not look like it was going their way at all, or that was going to happen. But wow, just good job. Way to rally and you know, keep their head in the game and not give up. You know, so they stuck it out and kept fighting.
It took a lot of coordination. It took a lot of just being in the right place at the right time. That place being on the obelisk, making sure that the enemy won't be getting that last point for free. You've always got to be fighting for it, always got to be contesting it, and not letting it get away. But there's the soul taken away by Napalm 3D, taking it right back into the obelisk that they have before. And this time it was their choice.
Yeah, you got to wonder about the, you know, mentally, right? The confidence building. To come back from that, you got to be thinking, hey, let's just start out how we finished this time, you know, and win this map right now.
Yeah, if they can turn this into a much more solid play, Dewey and crew might be in a bit of trouble. Napalm 3D having a bit of a quiet time at this point. He's got his shield ready. It's going to be great for the defense of this obelisk, but as you can see, the rest of his team is playing the rest of the map, playing the weapons, playing the items, and making Napalm's job a little bit easier. But here comes everybody over the crest of the hills. You can see the whites of their eyes, and Napalm is going to get rocketed on down by Dewey, no less, who might be in it for the soul. Yep, he's in it and out of there, but taken down in midair by, wow, was that one shotgun blast that took them both down? Beautifully done, but that's still 28% already for Gauntlets out.
Yeah, good start for them, especially compared to last round. So you got power up in about 30 seconds. They can somehow, you know, get this back on their point and get some more here before the power up.
KGB out of nowhere with the shotgun, making 1-2. Almost 3 frags there, but Napalm 3D with the nice backup, allowing KGB to come back in and get this back into Obelisk A, and the points just keep rolling in here for Gauntlets out. No doubt for these guys.
KGB's having a nice game. She's 30 frags, only 17 deaths so far.
All right, so 38%, and it's going to be a big fight over here at the power-up. A little bit of a break from the Soul game at this point, but here comes the double LG from BJ. That's exactly what I wanted to see out of KGB this entire time. And even though the quad is out on the field, I wanted to see how many frags he was going to get there. Definitely helped even up the score there. But we do have Pyro with the quad. It's going to be an anarchy, but you know, having it close to the base certainly does help as long as it doesn't fall into enemy hands. They're all coming through the LG teleporter right now, though. He's got to watch his flank, and that's exactly what he's not watching right now. Everybody's looking after one player, but I think we're going to be seeing a bit of a play on the obelisk from the rocket launcher side.
Great start to the round, though, for Gauntlets out. I mean, you know, they've secured the soul. I mean, they're getting the percentages to tick up. They got the first major power up. Everything's going right. It just seemed like these guys turn on a switch in that last round, and you know, when their backs were against the wall there, it just seemed to really turn it on, and it's been going their way ever since.
So all these attempts to use the teleporter hallway to bring the soul back, I mean, that just opens it up for all sorts of easy rails. And an easy return from Pyro as well, as they are so far completely shutting out the Cute Boys.
Your team
and making their play here. Backup is ready with Anarchy to make the final few passes here over to the Obelisk and start getting some points on the board. But as you can see, everybody from Gauntlets Out is already on their backs, making this a multifaceted, multi-angle fight. Well, it's going to be really difficult, and everybody has to focus down KGB at that point. Jeez.
We'll see if the boys here are going to try to return the favor with the comeback in this round, because they got a long road here ahead of them.
Just like Gauntlet did last match, but we've seen Lightning strike twice at the very least. Well, so far, Lightning is in the form of KGB's LG, as Pyro's going to be getting the grab back over here. It's going to be a big fight, a messy one, not one that will allow the Soul to get back. But look at this, Pyro has managed to get out of there. Oh, but Dewey with the Dire Orb, how does he make these every single time? And here comes the Gauntlet with a pair of Gauntlet frags to solidly get the Soul back into base.
Slipgate followed up by 2 gauntlets. I mean, if we need ESPN right now for this. That was a serious highlight right there.
Absolutely. So Mojo's absolutely on the groove here, but Pyro with his own LG carving out a name for himself on his opponent's face as Dewey sees everybody down there in the armor room, is going, all right, fine, cool, as long as we're making points on B, here we go. But it's going to be a play with the quad. Going to go over and find out who's got that. It's going to be Pyro. Sorry, I went Canadian there for a second, but Pyro with the quad in the rocket launcher room. Are we playing Cluedo? He's going to be taking down everybody here. No mystery at all, just frags.
Oh, what a big turnaround. I mean, geez. From last round to now, I mean, they're on the verge of taking this map, but it looked like they were just going to get wiped out of that last round.
Well, they are so very close here, especially if KGB is going to be helping out with the last few percent, 90 to 36% at this point. And so far, the frags are so solidly on Gauntlet's side of things that even Dewey is going to have trouble getting off of a spawn. And there it is. It's going to be 2 rounds. Oh no, taken away just at the last moment, but it's not going to last for long, as we should see this taken out. It's going to be the last fight, potentially here on the Obelisk, as Pyro is doing a hell of a job on the defense, finally taken down. Let's see if anybody can get the steal for the Soul.
Yeah, look at KGB or Shadow Master just sitting on that ledge railing, having a shooting gallery for him. You know, desperation. You know, they were moving onto the pad there, and you know, just going up the jump pad to the Obelisk and just getting railed over and over again. What a comeback! You know, from round 1. I mean, geez, they just really just turned that around, and then took that momentum into round 2, which was, you know, started off great for them. It was just complete reversal. So you gotta tip your cap to them for, one, staying in the game in round 1. It would have been very easy to throw up your hands and say, you know, hey, we'll get them in round 2. They didn't. They stuck it out and they got the win. And then they took that momentum and won round 2 and got the map. So heck of a job.
If you ask me, they stuck it in for sure. I mean, especially KGB. He had like, what, something like 40 and 22 frags there. Absolutely intense, absolutely insane. And, you know, you can see a lot of that play coming from that BJ. You know, being able to get 2 LGs in the hands of KGB, really handy in these team modes. It really seems to be his bread and butter, his safe waters, as it were. But we're going to be going over to the next map here. It could be Lockbox. It could be Blood Covenant. We do have a few possibilities here, but we are still going to be seeing a ton of frags around these obelisks, and it's all about who's able to get in, get the maybe clean break even, and get out of there. And so far, Dewey's been the one to watch for that, but he had a lot more trouble in that last round, especially with that amazing comeback.
Yeah, he was breaking even there in his kill-death ratio, so you can tell the struggle. You know, when somebody gets it going, and they have more of a ratio, like you mentioned with KGB, where, you know, you can see the separation of kills and deaths, and they were just working it. Like I said, they just really turned it around, and then even the coordination on the power-ups. You mentioned the Blaskowitz play by KGB. I noticed he was kind of making sure his ability was up for the power-up push, and he pulled out the double lightning gun, you know, when his team was trying to secure an area, and that's a heck of a way to help your team secure an area when you're running around with, you know, double lightning gun. So you have your teammates jumping on quad, which is already disruptive, and double lightning gun. So, you know, that's kind of like quad light, I guess you could kind of say, right? He's going to really pump out damage there for a minute and really cleared the area for his teammates, and they went on a run, man. They really just locked it down in round 2.
Absolutely. So they've got to be taking that into consideration at this point. You know, you kind of change who you focus on. You think, all right, it's going to be the clutch, it's going to be the scale bearer that we need to focus on. But the BJ, he was able to stay consistent in so many of those fights. And that's not something you want to let KGB do. So I think after this one, they've definitely got to find out who they have to respect and who they need to shut down before they can make those plays on the items. But it looks like we're going over to Burial Chamber, actually. The first time we're seeing it here today. And honestly, one of my favorite maps for Sacrifice, just because you have so much more space, so much more room to make some comfortable rails, but also the plays on the obelisk. This is where I would argue maybe they're the most different out of any of the maps. One of them has this nice two-tiered room with a lot of space. The other one has pretty much this triangle of 3 entrances with a little bit of height advantage, but mostly it's a lot of close-range shotgun and rocket fights, and it gets really nasty. Which one is actually the better is something that, you know, different teams will tell you a little bit differently each time, so we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I see a lot of teams. Me personally, I favor the high ground, you know, over there by the heavy armor, and it's kind of a larger room, you know, more area to play with. It has a light armor over there up by that jump pad, and I just think it's especially because the jump pad's kind of inside the room and it's in a corner. It's kind of easy to defend and throw a lot of rockets and damage over there, and especially if you have a clutch or something in there.
Yeah.
To maybe block the initial entryways, you know, in the bottom area when people are rushing in. So you have a clutch on the bottom. Maybe you have you guys elevated up top, shooting down into the area. It becomes a lot to deal with. And then, of course, the heavy armor is just a few jumps away there. Yeah. And then anytime approaching the power up, you're there at the top of the ramp rather than the bottom of the ramp. Always good to be shooting down. Quake.
Absolutely, and if you can make those consistent spam shots, those consistent long-range rail shots too. I mean, one side does give you a much better opportunity to see them coming from a long way off, but at the same time, once they grew up and come through those choke points, it's a mess for sure. And again, just like in CTF, if you have that huge melee happening, and then you have one player who's able to sneak in, go through the other side entrance, and actually on both of these sides, you have the opportunity for that. You can find where the fight isn't, get the soul, and get out of there before anybody realizes what's up.
Actually, and something else about Burial Chamber I really like is the teleporter out there and the teleporter island, because it puts you right on the power-up spot.
Yeah.
So if you time it right, I mean, you'll telefrag somebody and take power-up. So I'm curious to see if any of these teams, you know, maybe have a ranger or somebody, you know, specifically for that, right? You gyro about there, you know, as soon as it pops up, you know the other team's going to be timing it, so they're going to have a guy jumping on it. As soon as it spawns, you go through that teleporter and, you know, try to take somebody out and grab the power up. I know I've had it done to me, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you don't need it done to you too many times before you start realizing, okay, that's something I need to watch out for sure. All right.
But there's not much, I mean, what do you do though? You let him come through I mean, you know, and he gets it. If it's a protection, that's not good. So
yeah. All right, so we have picks coming up here. No bans, just picks. But we are going to be seeing maybe a little bit more Nyx played out here in Burial Chamber, which I don't mind at all. And yeah, again, this central atrium has so many call-outs. I mean, there are so many places where you see somebody dart from one door to the other, and you need to call it out. He's at Mega. He's, you know, at upper rail. Somebody's going to be controlling that. Somebody's leaving through rail to go through the short way over to the other obelisk. There's just so much dense information that needs to be communicated here.
In that big open area, I wonder, you know, I think a team could really take advantage of utilizing some kind of area control with the railgun. And because, you know, if the other team doesn't have easy access to railgun, you have, you know, 3-4 guys running around with that weapon on this map, and they don't. It's a huge advantage. I mean, it's just so many open areas to shoot.
Absolutely. And that's a favorite area of mine over by the rail itself. But ever since the rocket launcher got put up there, it's become a bit more contested and nowhere near as easy to hold down. Right, but here we go. All right, so we're going to have to see how positions shake out here as we get started.
Prepare your team.
And I hope KGB brought his rail as well as his LG.
Round begins.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1. Round 1.
All right, we're going to be following the man himself, KGB, out of the gate here, as it's going to be a play over, oh my god, over the rail. Beautiful shotgun work there. He even looked a little bit surprised that it made a frag, but he's going to have that, and he's going to have a little bit of armor to play with in order to make the play on the soul. And who else is going to be diving down there? Well, he's ready for them, at least with the shotgun. But look at all these bodies down here. G-Nick is going to be taking them on down.
Let's see, which one do they want here first? That is always the question.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting tossed around a little bit, but it's taken a while for it to get captured. But there it is. Yenum getting a pair of shotgun frags as he's taken over the Soul. In fact, getting out of there with it. Mega's going to be available, but Pyro is deciding, nah, I need to get back over to point A as soon as I can. Take a bit of a longer way. It's going to give him that heavy armor, which will save his life a little bit. Beautiful shot against Dewey. Awesome. Once-in-a-lifetime rocket. But he's going to try to make it happen twice or maybe even 3 times just in this match. But there's the Soul taken away by KGB as they're making their way back over to point A. That was only 2 points taken over on the B side.
Yeah, again, Gauntlet's out. Still seems to be swinging with that momentum. I mean, I don't know. CBAC needs to do something right now because this is the 3rd round now where, starting in round 1 of the previous map, I mean, Gauntlet's out have been really kind of getting off to a good start and controlling the action for the most part. I mean, especially around the Soul, controlling the action. We'll see how they do with this next power up, coming in 25 seconds. If they, CBAC, all right, the boys want to get back into this. Power up runs are a good way to do it.
All right, trying to make something happen with the rocket jump, which is a good way to cover the distance, but it also makes you a bit of a flying duck, as it were. Yenum getting it back into point A and trying to defend it with just the heavy machine gun. He's going to need some weapons to come back into this, and being a Nyx cannot afford to be there for too long without having something to play with. But he's going to try to set up on the power-up itself, and he's able to get it, taking down Mojo as well. So that means it's going to be a very quiet power-up. He's going to go, all right, Nyx has protection, no big deal, just bring it back and enjoy all of these delicious points that you're soaking up on the Obelisk.
Yeah, right now they're just in great shape after securing that. I think somebody from the boys tried to get the timing on the teleporter and missed. So yeah, there's not much they can do right now. I mean, with you sitting back with protection, you're feeling really good.
I mean, everybody's got to be mad they're trying to take down a Nyx of all things, but with that protection, she's going to be incredibly difficult to hurt. Might get a little bit of revenge here, but the machine gun shots are not coming our way. All right, there we go. Genic finally getting the frag done. A little bit of revenge.
It looked like the boys are just being patient there instead of just rushing in. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to gather some weapons. To stack and make a nice coordinated push in here to do something, because they're giving up a huge lead already.
All right, so it's going to be a bit of a fight here over the Obelisk. Dewey getting a nice pair of frags, opening things up here for the cute boys. But it's going to be grabbed by Genic finally as a BJ. He won't have, of course, his dual weapons available, but he's going to have 5 health with which to run this thing out. He can try to pass it to a teammate, but he's just looking for an exit at this point. And I hope you like the sounds of machine guns. All right, but there it is over the heavy armor. It's going to get picked up here by KGB and maybe even brought back. He's got 2 players to fend off with, but here's a fully stacked up Napalm 3D with an LG coming back in to get the last few points. 25
pass
points
off. Okay?
Yeah.
Like the pass. He was kind of in a strafe fight, and he wasn't really moving, so he saw his teammate strafe jumping in. He just kind of gave him a quick throw because he had the momentum. And then on top of his teammate helped him out with the lightning gun. And so it's nice work.
Yeah. All right, so a fairly quick and decisive first round here so far, but as we've already seen, comeback is certainly possible. But we have the power-up coming back up. It's going to be a protection in the hands of Napalm 3D. With only 10% left to go. This is 2 power-ups going over to relatively light characters on Gauntlet's out, but it's protections that allow them. Oh, and here comes the double super machine gun, heavy machine gun, whatever it is. It's going to be down on the ground, taken away by Genic here. And the last point is going to be happening here pretty soon if Dewey and crew can't make the frags. It's going to be Genic getting out of here, actually, with a little bit of that protection left over, taking away the 225 orbs on his way. Just trying to avoid the fight, but KGB comes out of nowhere with the rocket launcher and starts to bring it back home.
Attack point A.
Yeah, doing a really good job with defense, and even when they lose control of the Soul, the gang tackling, to use a football phrase, the way they're chasing them down and just getting damage out, machine gun, whatever they can put on them, right? Just put any damage you can and just be disruptive as they're running away. Don't let them get away for free. And they're doing a good job in terms of the scrambles, the scrums, and everything when struggling for control and regaining control of the Soul. They're doing a great job, and then secured both power-ups, as you mentioned. Really sealed the deal there when they had the second power-up.
Yeah, really smart play to have your Nyx down there, going into the Shadow Walk and being ready for that pickup. I mean, it might not be a clean and decisive grab, but you have a pretty good chance of actually getting the item itself at that point. All right, so here we are once again with the Soul down in the middle, and it's just a mosh pit, as Dewey is instead going to be taking it over to point A. Not B this time, as they had the first choice in the last round. They're changing things up here a little bit this time around, but it's paying off so far as they've got the first few points on the board.
Yeah, curious to see how this affects their defense. It seemed like you know, Gauntlet's Out had a good time defending that one. So I'll see if it's a little role reversal right now. See if you know, if it was team coordination, or maybe, you know, they just favored that spot over the other obelisk.
Oh, geez, really risky movement coming out of here from Pyro. It was a good pass to him, and he's having a bit of a trouble getting back out of here. But there's the Drugs. He has a quick pass to use his ability, but it's going to be taken back by Mojo. But it cost him a lot of time and a lot of health, left at only 8 HP. But G-Nick is going to be left barely alive. It's going to be KGB with the LG to take him back down, taking the Soul back over, potentially towards point B. He's thinking, oh man, we don't actually have point A this time? Lame. All right, so we're going to take it back over, getting it back over to Yana. But there's the dual LG from G-Nick. As this is once again just trading hands left, right, top, and center. Finally, Napalm getting it in.
All right, so they're finally getting on the board now. So I'm going to see if they start locking in on defense again. You know, the boys only got 12%, and let's see if they can get this. If this, you know, this power up, what happens here? I mean, if Gauntlet's Out secures this power up right now, you just got to think. You know, going back to round one of the previous maps, you just got to keep thinking about all the momentum they have, and you know, can the boys turn this around? It makes you wonder.
Beautifully timed Stompy Rompy from Mojo there. He's going to be taken down very quickly, so we might see that protection trade hands, but it's going to be Dewey getting the pickup. We've got Gauntlets coming out, but Dewey getting 1, 2, 3 rocket frags, 8 health left for him, looking for the 225s down by the Soul Spawn, and he's going to get it. So this is certainly going to help out, but they are still losing points here on Obelisk B. He's going to be coming in with a little bit of that protection left over, and my god, he is just taking everybody down here. His rockets are just on point. He's got a teammate taking the Soul away, but I'm going to keep my eyes on him as he's playing this defensive escort game. But as you know, escort quests are never all that much fun, but he is making the most of it with these frags.
Oh.
Jeez.
I watched who was that? It was Mojo. He did a charge, and he got railed, and the momentum while he was charging, it took him right off the side of the map over there by heavy armor. And
this is where you start needing to be careful. You know, there's no way you can really be careful of it, but you need to be aware that, you know, fighting an enemy off at their base, when you frag them, they're going to spawn right back in mid, and Dewey at least took long enough to get back into mid where all of those opponents had time to get weapons and time to get set up, ready to make that next rugby line. Or Red Rover if you prefer. It's going to toss it out.
Soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to put it back in mid here. All right, so that's going to be a nice neutral place for them. But yeah, they've got a lot of points to catch up here. Backup is just on a rampage with the Gauntlet, looking for all the frags, and Dewey's going to end up getting it. Nice. Jeez, and if you thought MG Says was going to go away, I got bad news for you. MG Says is here.
Oh, yeah. It's back with a vengeance, man.
It's so handy, though. I mean, just being able to tell players, hey, no, I know you've got a rocket launcher, but you are going to hurt if you just try to plus forward me off of the spawn. But G-Nick, right back in here onto Obelisk A, starting to get those points back for the cute boys. It's still relatively even here, and we've had a lot of time knocked off. I mean, we've had a lot of these power-up plays end up with the Soul in mid-map or tossed out of the map, and just nobody's getting any points off of it.
Yeah, very much. You consider we're 4.5 minutes in, it's 30%, 30%. I mean, nobody's really gotten any momentum in this round, it seems.
Just playing pinball with the BJ on the protection right now, but it's going to be Pyro getting the grab. Only 20 health for him, but look at the speed. He is just on his way back out of there, and there's nobody really in his way to prevent this getting back into the Gauntlet side.
Yeah, nice run.
All right, so that'll catch them back up, and they'll start to get the lead here over the cute boys. Pyro's still alive, still looking to make some frags, and they're all going to be coming from the Mega side. And he's looking to catch at least one Anarchy. He should be at least giving out a little bit of intel here, but I like the defensive positions that they hold up, and yeah, that jump pad means an easy frag for a frag video.
Yeah, nice lineup with the mid-air rocket there. Doing really good. I like Yeah, see, look, it was not a fluke. You look how they're coordinating, right? Gauntlet's out, their team defense and the way they're just working together, it seems to be a bit stronger than the boys. I mean, what do you think about that, Jar? I mean, it certainly seems that way to me.
I mean, they do have the advantage of having that steal happening just as a power-up was ending, so they've got a lot of time here where it's just going to be about the pure fights. You know, it's going to be about who can get a rails, who can get the shots here, who can dire orb to break up all the defensive line. A beautiful play out of Dewey. You can have somebody sitting back there behind the pillars all day with a railgun, but once you have somebody teleport behind them, nope, you have to break rank for sure.
I mean, looks like Gauntlet's out really look to take this match right now with the power up.
And it's going to be Yenama on the quad. It's a Nyx with the quad, and it's going to be sort of a big arrow saying shoot me, and that is indeed what's going to happen. But that quad might be able to get brought into the obelisk to take that away. It's going to be back up with it, 53 health for him. He's got the pickup, or at least the teammate does. He's looking for him to catch up. He says, oh, me with the soul? No, and the pass is bad. Both passes are bad. He's finally got the pickup. He's back into this. 94% for Gauntlets, but now backup and crew are trying to make the same thing happen as what got used against them on Ruins of Sarnath. But they've got a long way to go here.
Yeah, and his team got taken out on the way there, so...
All right, but Pyro already out of there, and his movement with the Anarchy is absolutely fantastic. Not really getting slowed down here. He passes it to himself. Some days you got to be your own best teammate there, but there it is, 5% left to go on the Gauntlet side of things. Nice.
Nicely done.
Anytime you see a death message with Dewey at a critical point like that, it's bad news for the cute boys, because he is indeed the cutest boy. Double rockets, definitely useful in Sacrifice, but he's going to get pulled on down. Pyro getting 2 frags, Napalm getting 1 as well, and that should be the round and the map for Gauntlets Out. No doubt about it.
Yeah, well done. Well done by Gauntlets Out. I mean, I keep going back to that first round on the previous map, but what a heck of a turnaround for them. I mean, seriously, good job, guys, really. Just mentally keeping their head in the game in round 1, because, you know, lose that first round, who knows how everything else goes from there. That would have made a 3rd round in map 1, right? So just good turnaround. They kept the momentum on their side, controlled the power-ups for the most part. Good defense. You know, you can really see them working together. And I take that back. Even if you go back to the first map, they actually lost a player for a little bit there in the first round.
Yeah, that was weird.
So they recovered from that. Just a lot of things, you know. It's good job by them. So, and the boys obviously have a little team cohesion to work on, because it just seemed like Gauntlets Out was a little more on top of the team play aspect of things.
And at least we got to see 2 rounds or 2 matches out of them before they got knocked out of the running, because again, this is the last possible qualifier to go on to regionals for Sacrifice. And that means that we've got a few more matches here left. We're going to be playing everything up to the semifinals. So the top 4 today will, of course, be advancing to play in Burbank the first week or so in August. Yeah, what month is it? What day is it? I don't know anymore. I'm just stuck in Quake land. But we're going to be finding our next game here, and it looks like our wonderful Cafe has also come back from his break, the very short sleeping break we had last night, and right back into it, getting us a lot of awesome matches and keeping things really streamlined for us and for you. But for the moment, we're going to take a quick breather and find out who's coming up next here on the Sacrifice Qualifiers North America, if that wasn't obvious. No, that's the wrong